So we're all aware that Oprah is known for monetizing off of people's traumas.
So people not understanding the Taraji P. Henson and Oprah Winfrey beef. Let me break it down for you. They were totally fine touching and standing next to each other at press junkets. No weird energy whatsoever.
You don't trust Oprah? Oprah's a fucking slave trader, guys. You shouldn't trust Oprah. Oprah is a slave trader. Oprah is a slave trader. Let that sink in. It's 100% true.
Rumors has it Oprah is not the angel everyone thinks she is, and now she's under fire for how she's been treating black actresses over the years. So, Taraji P. Henson just spilled some tea, and it's piping hot. She's calling out Oprah Winfrey for offering peanuts, and get this, she almost walked away from the Oprah-produced remake of The Color Purple because of the low pay. In a chat with Oprah's BFF Gayle King, Taraji got real about considering quitting acting altogether. She's tired of having to beg for fair pay, and honestly, who can blame her? It's not the first time someone's called out Oprah. Remember Monique? She got labeled as difficult for saying no to an unpaid movie tour exposing Oprah, Tyler Perry, and Lee Daniels in the process. Fans are side-eyeing Oprah, the richest black woman on the planet, for not using her voice on issues of pay inequality in the industry. This just proves that being a billionaire doesn't automatically make you one of the good guys. So, Oprah's making headlines again, and this time it's not for anything good. Taraji P. Henson, one of the main actresses in the new The Color Purple remake, spilled the tea about getting unfairly paid. You'd think with Oprah as the big shot producer, everyone's pockets would be lined properly, right? Well, turns out, not so much. This whole remake is backed by Oprah's Harpo Films, Spielberg's Amblin Entertainment, SGS Pictures, and Quincy Jones Productions. A real dream team, or so you'd think. In this updated version, Danielle Brooks takes on the Sophia role, Fantasia is Sally Harris, and Taraji rocks as Shug Avery. Now you'd figure Taraji, being a pro with over 20 years in the game, wouldn't have to hustle for a fair paycheck, especially with Oprah pulling the strings. But nope, the initial offer Henson got was straight up disrespectful. They weren't budging until she put her foot down and threatened to walk away. In a real talk with Oprah's BFF Gayle King, Taraji didn't hold back. She spilled the tea on how she's so over this constant fight for fair pay that she's seriously thinking about quitting acting for good. And I imagine in 2023, still having to battle for what's rightfully yours in a big budget flick. That's some next level frustration. Oprah, we expected more. So, Gayle tried to brush off the seriousness, but Taraji wasn't playing around. She dropped the truth bomb that black actresses, even veterans like herself, are still hustling for fair pay on every new gig. You could feel the tension because Taraji was there to talk up The Color Purple, and Gayle was just trying to roll with it, nodding along, saying she gets where Taraji's coming from. It's like, come on, it's 2023 and we're still dealing with this pay gap. Taraji poured her heart out, sharing that she's got the passion to fight for the younger actresses coming up, but it's tough when she's still not getting the fair pay she deserves herself. It's like this cycle that's holding everyone back, and she's not about to let it slide, promoting The Color Purple. There was this vibe, you know? Fans turned detective mode on when they scrutinized Oprah and Taraji during a photo shoot on the Empire State Building. The comment section buzzed with speculations about their relationship being on the rocks, all based on body language cues. As the trio, including Color Purple stars Fantasia Barrino, Danielle Brooks, and director Blitz Bazawuli, lined up for a photo op, the fans noticed Winfrey starting in the middle next to Henson, but eventually shifting to an end. You could sense something wasn't quite right in the body language between her and Oprah. It's like there was this unspoken tension, and it left people wondering what was really going on behind the scenes. And Taraji didn't just stop at spilling the tea about The Color Purple. On December 19th, she went all in during an hour-long chat with the SAG-AFTRA Foundation Conversations. She dished out the deets, letting everyone know she was this close to saying bye-bye to The Color Purple because they were trying to pay her pocket change.
As a black woman, you know, we do it with so much grace and get paid half the price of what we're worth. And that becomes difficult. And it's a slap in my face when people go, oh, you work all the time. Well, bitch, I have to, because the math ain't mathing.
She also talked about how it's a struggle to keep the fire alive when you're barely getting paid. Taraji also threw shade on The Color Purple remake, exposing that she was so close to dropping the mic and walking away. Why? Well, the offer they slid her way was basically an insult. Yeah, you heard it right. Even a blockbuster linked to Oprah herself wasn't serving up the fair pay Taraji deserves.
Where's my raise? I haven't seen a raise in my income since Proud Mary. And almost had to walk away from Color Purple. Yes, ma'am. Who said what? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Because you know what? If I don't take a stand, how am I making it easy for Fantasia and Danielle and Hallie and Felicia? Then why am I doing this? If it's all just for me, why are you here?
When she was done with the Color Purple drama, she threw it back to 2008, spilling the beans on her role in the blockbuster The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. Get this, she spilled the tea that she had to straight up fight to pocket $500,000 for that gig. Yeah, the same movie that snagged her an Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actress. She's out here not just acting, but battling for every dollar of what she's worth.
So that's why that Benjamin Button story hit so hard, because all I was asking was for $500,000. I wasn't trying to take nothing from Brad Pitt or Kate Blanchett. They deserve to earn what they get because they worked their asses off for it. I so too worked my ass off.
Taj didn't spill any names, but she definitely threw some subtle shade Oprah's way. It was like a low-key call-out, with Taj suggesting that influential women should be supporting each other, especially in the paycheck department. She didn't drop the Big O's name, but the tea she's serving is making us all read between the lines.
We are to service each other. God is very clever. He put us on this earth and he made us all look different. He made it complicated. We need to figure it out. And we can. We can. And we are. You have to look at the glass as half full. It's always half full.
When Taraji P. Henson spilled the tea about getting lowballed in Hollywood, especially mentioning the color purple, her fans were quick to call out Oprah Winfrey as part of the issue. The drama unfolded as fans pointed fingers at Winfrey, a cast member and executive producer, accusing her of underpaying not just Henson but other black actors too. The plot thickened as Winfrey's past salary for the original movie, a mere $35,000, added fuel to the fire. Her fans were quick to blame Oprah on social media, saying, "Oprah is far from broke, and you mean to tell me Taraji and Fantasia almost walked away because of them being lowballed?" Monique tried to tell us, and folk called her crazy. And, reading between the lines, Oprah and co. don't pay black actors. Another fan wrote, "Imagine being in a film produced by a billionaire and almost having to walk away from a dream role BC they don't value you and won't pay what you're worth. Wild." She also added, "Also, it's incredibly ironic that a film about black female empowerment and resilience has this woman feeling demoralized. She looks so miserable on this press tour and I feel awful for her." However, some people online are side-eyeing Taraji P. Henson's recent revelations, basically saying she might be exaggerating or looking for some extra drama. They're pointing out that Oprah has been a big supporter of black talent and Henson's salary might not be as low as she's making it out to be considering how well her movies did. So, you know, some folks think she's maybe trying to stir the pot for attention or, dare we say it, more cash from Oprah. So Taraji went on Instagram to clear everything up. She shared a photo with Oprah in the post and wrote, "It is so important for black women and all women of color to support each other. It is also imperative to have women of color in decision-making positions across all industries. Thank you for responding to my message with the compassion, understanding, and support that I've received." Then she continued to address all the Oprah allegations. With that being said, Ms. Oprah has been nothing less than a steady and solid beacon of light to all of the cast of The Color Purple. She has provided encouragement, guidance, and unwavering support to us all. She told me personally to reach out to her for anything I needed, and I did. It took one call, one conversation, and one decision-making black woman to make me feel heard. Thank you, Ms. Oprah, for all that you do. Oprah decided to praise Taraji out of the blue too. She wrote, "I've long admired Taraji. Taraji, the stage is now yours, and I already see the standing ovations for you. I'm fiercely welcoming Taraji to the Purple Sisterhood, and I cannot wait for you to meet her version of Shug." Yeah, but the fans aren't having it, because we all know Taraji isn't the first to tiptoe around the Oprah issue. And it's not without reason. Word on the street is that Oprah is allegedly been trying to blackball celebs who speak out against her. And guess who's not having it? None other than Academy Award-winning actress Monique, who spilled the tea in a recent interview, calling out Oprah and demanding a public apology. Flashback to 2009, and we have the Monique episode where she openly asserted that Oprah blacklisted her for merely requesting compensation for a press tour linked to the film Precious. This movie, backed by Oprah, Tyler Perry, and directed by Lee Daniels, set the stage for a dramatic fallout. Rejecting the unpaid overseas press tour offer offer resulted in Monique being swiftly branded as difficult in the media. In the cutthroat world of Hollywood, especially for Black women, being slapped with the difficult label can be a career stumbling block. Monique maintains her stance, emphasizing that Oprah owes her a public apology. So what exactly is the Oprah versus Monique drama? Let's rewind to 2009, the year of the 82nd Academy Awards. Monique snagged a nomination for Best Supporting Actress for her stellar performance in Precious, a movie co-produced by Oprah, Tyler Perry, and Lee Daniels. This flick was making waves, and an Oscar win for Monique was on the horizon. Here's where the plot thickens. Oprah, Tyler Perry, and Lee Daniels, smelling the sweet scent of media attention around Monique, decided it was time for a press tour. The catch? They weren't keen on compensating her for it. Monique, juggling her gig hosting a talk show on BET, had other plans. She wanted some quality time with her hubby and kids after pouring her heart into Precious. Enter Lee Daniels with a foreboding warning. He hinted at the consequences if Monique dared to say no to Oprah, suggesting it wouldn't play out well for her. And just like that, the media machine kicked into overdrive. Stories started circulating about Monique being difficult and challenging to work with. Despite her Oscar win, the job offers dried up, and Monique found herself in the cold, realizing she was being blackballed, and Oprah seemed to be at the center of it all. But the drama doesn't stop there. Fast forward to 2008, when Monique, in an interview with Essence, dropped a bombshell.
It's a story that I've told, and the first time I told it was in Essence magazine, when I did the cover, I think maybe a year ago. And I was molested as a kid by my oldest brother, Gerald. So when Lee Daniels called me and first told me about this movie, and he sent me the book, and I'm like, oh my God, Lee, what is this? And he said, when I say action to you, I need you to play a monster. So I remembered those moments with my brother Gerald, and he was a monster to me. So whenever he said action, I became that monster.
She bravely opened up about a deeply traumatic experience. Her older brother Gerald had assaulted her multiple times between the tender ages of 7 and 11. This revelation wasn't just a personal struggle for Monique. It was a vulnerable moment where she bared her soul. Now, let's fast forward to the fallout between Oprah and Monique post-Precious. The friendship took a hit and the two went their separate ways. But Oprah, rather than offering support or understanding, decided to take a shocking turn. In what can only be described as a questionable move, Oprah chose to exploit and monetize Monique's deeply personal story.
Where Oprah Winfrey and I have a problem is Oprah Winfrey called us up and she said my brother wanted to come on the show and talk about him molesting me, and he wanted to tell other parents how to look out for molesters. My brother Gerald is a charmer.
Oprah, being the influential talk show host she is, saw an opportunity. She invited Gerald, Monique's abusive brother, onto her show without giving Monique a heads up. Talk about a betrayal of trust.
And that is, I did assault and inappropriately touch my sister in manners that were not comfortable for her. And for that, I apologize, and I'm humbly sorry.
Some may think that you're only doing this to get into the good graces of your sister now because she has an Academy Award.
Nah, I'm doing this to apologize to my sister, to hopefully bring back some family unity.
Picture this. Monique confides in Oprah about her painful past, trusting her with the scars she carries. And then Oprah, without warning, brings the source of that pain onto the world stage. Monique, understandably devastated, felt exploited and hurt by someone she considered a friend.
My mind thought was, because she said, do you want to come on? I said, I don't want nothing to do with that cat. I said, nigga, I know it's up to a scam, but people can change. And who am I to say he hasn't changed? It might really be different. So I don't want to get in the way of that. I just don't want nothing to do with it.
Oprah, despite Monique's clear refusal, attempted to convince her to appear on the show alongside her brother Gerald. However, Monique stood her ground, expressing that she wanted no part in it, regardless of her brother's actions. Monique felt a deep sense of betrayal and manipulation. She had confided in Oprah about her strained relationship with her alcoholic father and her estrangement from her mother. The decision to include her parents in the conversation felt like a breach of trust and a blatant disregard for Monique's emotional well-being. Turns out, Oprah offered to cancel the whole thing if Monique didn't agree with it. But what's not what happened? When the commercial for the episode was unveiled, Monique discovered that Oprah had invited not only Gerald, but also her parents to discuss her traumatic experiences.
I began to see commercials with my brother, my mother, my father, And my other brother, I shared with her, we were in a really bad place. I shared with her, I was hurt and, trying to figure this thing out. She never said my mother was coming on that show, because had Oprah Winfrey said, I'm gonna have your mother, I would have said, shut it down. I don't need the world seeing how greedy my mother is. Shut that down. That's one of the reasons why we don't communicate, because of my mother and father's greed.
After the episode aired, Monique attempted to reach out to Oprah to convey her hurt feelings. However, Oprah refused to engage in a conversation. Even when they crossed paths at a Hollywood event, Oprah offered an apology that Monique thought was insincere. Despite the passage of more than a decade, Monique's desire for a public apology from Oprah remains unfulfilled.
Till that woman says, let me apologize to you publicly, it'll be to the day I leave this earth, because what you did was malicious, and it was intentional, and it was ugly.
If Oprah was watching this, what would you tell her?
I would say, Oprah Winfrey, you know what you need to do, and stop hiding behind what you call was negative comments, what you call, oh, I don't even deal with things like that, because what people are beginning to do is see you for who you are.
After this whole drama, Monique's career took a hit. She lost out on some major roles, like the one Oprah had in The Butler and a part in Richard Pryor's biopic. Even a chance to be on Empire vanished into thin air. Monique dropped a bombshell in her interview with The Hollywood Reporter, revealing that Lee Daniels explicitly confirmed her blackballing in Hollywood. When Monique asked Daniels why she was being treated that way, he was all mysterious, saying, because you didn't play the game. Even though she kept pushing to figure out what this so-called game was all about, Daniels kept dodging the question. So, back in the day, Monique wasn't playing by the rules. She straight up said no to Tyler Perry, Lee Daniels, and Oprah, the holy trinity of media moguls. They wanted her to promote Precious at Cannes for free. Monique, with her talk show, comedy tour, husband, and kids, was like, nah, I've got my own gig. As I explained to Oprah Winfrey, I said, Oprah, I'm doing a talk show. I'm doing a comedy tour. I have a husband and I have babies. I have a little bit of downtime and I'm going to take advantage of it. So I'm not going anywhere because I'm not obligated to go anywhere. I've done my part. So we mutually agreed to disagree. That was it. Next thing I know, I am considered difficult and hard to work with, she explained. But then things got real messy. Monique won that Oscar but didn't thank Lee Daniels in her speech. And bam, a 13-year rivalry kicked off.
First, I would like to thank the Academy for showing that it can be about the performance and not the politics. I want to thank Miss Hattie McDaniel for enduring all that she had to so that I would not have to. Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey, because you touched it, the whole world saw it. Ricky Anderson, our attorney of Anderson & Smith, thank you for your hard work. My entire BET family, my precious family.
In this ongoing saga spanning more than a decade, both Monique and Daniels took to the press to air their sides of the story, each providing their own take on why the feud dragged on for so long. In a 2015 interview with THR, Monique dropped the bomb, alleging that the acclaimed director had blackballed her from Hollywood gigs. Perry and Winfrey weren't spared either, with Monique pointing fingers at them, claiming they were part of the blackballing brigade, and she's still not vibing with them, insisting they played a role in the whole shebang. Monique spilled the tea back then, saying, one of the networks said to Lee that I was really difficult to work with. Whoever those people are who say Monique is difficult, those people are either heartless, ruthless, or treat people like they're worthless. And that's unacceptable. I come from a blue-collar town, and being from that place, you learn not to let anybody take advantage of you. You don't let people mistreat you. You stand up for what's right. Enter Martin Lawrence, an actor who knows firsthand what it's like to be on the receiving end of Hollywood's wrath. In May 1996, Martin Lawrence faced a dramatic arrest scenario. Discovered wandering in the middle of a busy Los Angeles intersection with a gun in hand, he was loudly exclaiming, "They're trying to kill me." The media swiftly labeled him as crazy, with speculations about drug addiction running rampant. However, subsequent medical examinations refuted any claims of substance influence. In the face of media-created chaos, Martin Lawrence strongly denied the bogus stories floating around, like the untrue claim of being diagnosed with bipolar disorder. He made it clear that much of his narrative was pure fiction, manufactured for the sake of a sensational story. When reflecting on this challenging period, Martin's buddy, Dave Chappelle, laid the blame on Hollywood, stating that that Martin's outburst was a result of the industry's relentless pressures. Chappelle made it crystal clear that even someone as unshakable as Martin Lawrence wasn't immune to the industry's pressure. It's like a glaring example of how the entertainment world can totally flip the script on narratives and seriously mess with the heads of its stars.
So what is happening in Hollywood? Nobody knows. The worst thing to call somebody is crazy, is dismissive. I don't understand this person, so they're crazy. That's bullshit. These people are not crazy, they're strong people. Maybe the environment is a little sick.
Dave exposed the truth about the entertainment industry during an interview with Oprah back in 2006 too. Dave spills the tea about how Hollywood bigwigs intentionally stress out stars like Martin Lawrence to push them to the edge. Why, you ask? So they can snap and then conveniently label them as difficult or crazy, gaining full control over their careers. It's like a calculated game where the industry calls the shots. But this is where he realized that Oprah was already on their side.
It was completely outside of my frame of reference. I've been in show business since I was 14, and I've heard the stories of what happens, and I've seen these kinds of things play out in front of me.
Okay.
When
you say you heard the stories, what do you mean? What stories?
I mean, you see it before. Look, Mariah Carey made a $100 million deal, and 3 months later, she's all of a sudden mysteriously crazy. Or Martin Lawrence punches through, and he's waving a gun on the street screaming, "They're trying to kill me."
Yeah, we hear those stories.
And it always happens around the time in their career where it seems as though they're crossing over the next plateau.
Yeah. Would you say you lost your mind, sort of?
No.
No.
Not exactly.
Okay.
I wasn't crazy, but it's incredibly stressful.
Yeah.
And I feel like in a lot of instances, I was deliberately being put through stress.
Now picture this. Martin Lawrence, the comedic legend, believes that this might have been the plan for Monique too. That's why he steps up to share some real talk and gives her advice on standing tall and not letting the industry puppeteer her story. It's like Martin passing on the torch of wisdom to Monique, telling her to own her narrative and not let the industry pull the strings.
So we're on the set and I get a knock on my trailer door, and it is one of Martin's sisters, and she says, "Martin would like for you to come down to his trailer." So I said, okay. Like, I'm ready to go meet my brother, right? I get down to this trailer, and when I tell you this is a 3-story penthouse, do you hear what I'm saying to you? It was a bottom floor, a middle floor, a top floor. I'm talking about full bathrooms, full bedrooms, baby. It was incredible. So I was like, I'm so proud of you, brother. Just, you make us proud. And he looked at me and said, "Monique, don't ever let them tell you what you can't have."
Fast forward to the present. With all this new evidence, fans are side-eyeing Oprah, wondering if she's really the beacon of light she claims to be. One fan wrote, "Oprah being the common villain between Monique's saga of being blackballed after asking for her worth and Taraji crying on this press tour for not being paid enough is really something. For a billionaire who started out being discriminated against, it's wild. And there's chatter about her potentially getting canceled. People are feeling let down, accusing her of putting herself first and leaving others in the shadows. There is enough evidence that shows that Oprah is not a good person. When will Hollywood start realizing that?